core of these measures will be to exert maximum pressure on government and its agencies.
Trades Union Congress TUC warns that Ghana could face a nationwide water crisis if the government fails to take decisive action against illegal mining, insisting government must declare a state of emergency. We'll be interrogating the issues. Later tonight on the bulletin, Kennedy Ohene Japan picks top slot at New Patriotic Party NPP completes balloting for presidential primaries. We'll bring you campaign teams' reactions to the positions drawn. Later in the bulletin, the Trade Unions Congress has warned that Ghana could face a nationwide water crisis if the government fails to take decisive action against illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey. We'll bring you details of that and more, but later in the bulletin also we'll bring you updates across the world. My colleague is on standby to bring you more of that.
Thank you, Michael. Let's settle for the news summary segment. Into a first story, Kennedy Japan has picked the number one spot on the ballot for the MPP flag bearer race, while Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia drew number 3 in the balloting held on Friday, October 10. Also placed Brian Champon, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, and Kwabene Japan in positions 2, 4, and 5, respectively. The MPP flag bearer election is set for January 31, 2026, ahead of the 2028 general polls. To our second story, Ashanti Regional MPP Chairman Bernard Nchibu, known as Chairman Wuntumi, has been released on bail after meeting all conditions. His release followed confirmation by his lawyer, Andy Apiakubi, who earlier said all requirements had been fulfilled except the transfer of his passport from Iyoko to the court. Away from that, Akosia Sewa Fusu, first wife of late High Life legend Daddy Lumba, has sued to be declared his only surviving wife or spouse. She is also seeking an injunction to stop the announced December 6 funeral, claiming it was planned without her consent. Sewa is asking the court to restrain the alleged second wife, Priscilla Ofori, also known as Odobroni, and family head Kofi Owusu from handling the body or funeral arrangements. Away from that, also residents of Bolgatanga are living in fear after a man showing suspected mpox symptoms was found lying weak on the roadside near the regional hospital. He said to have been there for nearly a month with boils all over his body. Locals are urging the Ghana Health Service to evacuate him immediately to prevent a possible outbreak. Ghana has so far recorded 657 mpox cases and 3 deaths, with a 21-day vaccination campaign currently underway in hotspot areas. Now to our last story. 2 senior producers at Media General, Joseph Kofi Frimpong Akable and Sixtus Stone Ulu, have been called to the Ghana Bar today, Friday, October 10, 2025. Akable, co-host of TV3's New Day, and Ulu, producer of 3FM Sunrise, were among 824 new lawyers called at a ceremony at the Accra International Conference Center. And Chief Justice Paul Bafo-Boni urged the new lawyers to uphold integrity and use the law to serve the underprivileged. And this is where we end our news summary segment. And over to you, Michael.
Thank you so much. That was my colleague Safwa Boahin bringing us news summaries. But this is the hot edition here on 3FM 92.7. We are live across our various social media platforms and on 3news.com. Join us with your views and comments. Now, straight into our first story. The Trade Unions Congress TUC has warned that Ghana could face a nationwide water crisis if the government fails to take decisive action against illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey. The caution follows a fact-finding visit by the TUC to the Kwanyako headworks of in the central region and the Enum Apapam community in the eastern region, 2 areas where sections of the Ayensu River have been heavily polluted by illegal mining. The team's visit came after the recent reopening of the Kwanyako water treatment plants, which had been temporarily shut down due to excessive turbidity levels that made treatment impossible. TUC Secretary General Joshua Ansah described the situation as alarming, noting that pollution from illegal mining is threatening the operations of several water treatment facilities across the country. He called for intensified enforcement and stronger political commitment to tackle the menace. He urged President John Mahama to declare a state of emergency to address the crisis and hinted that the TUC may be compelled to take drastic action if the government does not respond swiftly. The TUC leadership is expected to meet after completing a nationwide inspection of treatment facilities to decide on its next line of action. Let's take a listen. I'll bring you that soundbite shortly, but we were speaking to some residents also who have expressed their frustration at the situation. Listen to them.
Yeah, buy yanting who she could see snare is swinging a polity. It is a mopedia. Moving who said no quarren near Cadia, Chile Musa cross mountains, move through mountains, or Bohon. And Sana moving who said near Cano and Nukare. Revise Nitida Forest. Almost two, Missy.
Dano, I got to baby for. I'm done as I got to be on that pan and them dear, and you on a W. Yeah, almost diverting. Yeah, I'm feeling penny for room. Or that in penny for dear. Say, I'm penny for. Oh, say, my baby, I beckon to see a mobile say, mobile boy bed. A bed will be a baby. Some bit to the Munesi form. Now, say, back me, boom, baby, I do my bit match maybe a money fee body. Yes, who crew animal. You cocoa. Won't you be saying soon? Said I won't be saying soon, cramp and book on drew. Yes, we cocoa say. Won't you be saying soon and senior man? Won't you be unsure? Yeah. Crewman for can once or can.
So those were some residents expressing their frustration with the developments regards to water in their community in the central region. We'll take you back to the earlier details from TUC that had visited the place. We'll bring you that shortly. Now, Dr. Kwabena Otu is the Deputy General Secretary of TUC, and he joins us live to speak to us on this particular issue. So we'll go straight to that. Hello, Doc. Thank you so much for your time. Now, what necessitated this surprise visit? Well, we'll try and connect with Dr. Kwabena Otu shortly. Now, the Attorney General is currently prosecuting about 1,500 cases of illegal mining following a series of arrests made by the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat this year. This with steps ongoing to set up special courts to decide these cases. Government says it is aggressively dealing with the menace head-on. Christian Yali reports.
The arrests include 28 persons who were illegally mining in the Cape 3 Point Forest Reserve, with several mining equipment seized and confiscated across the western region. Government says the operations of the Blue Water Guards and the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat are being intensified with a possible legislation to fast-track galamsey cases.
The law is the law, and if you break the law, there will be consequences. We're talking close to 1,500 arrests over the period, and the Attorney General is working on prosecutions. This week in Cabinet, there was a bill that was laid for special tribunal courts for specialized cases, and you can bet that illegal mining is going to be one of them. So in the coming days, when Parliament resumes, we're going to see that bill laid, and we're going to see faster prosecutions for illegal mining cases.
The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources says it is prioritizing stakeholder engagement with detailed plans to sustain the fight. These kinds of engagement are going to be done almost every week, to ensure that the public is well abreast of the issues. They are going to ensure that over 400 personnel from NIMOS are deployed to all of these security zones as well as the hotspot to prevent other galamseyers from going to this site.
Water bodies had been declared security zones. Currently, we have about 400 trained personnel from the NIMOS team, and based of that conversation, we are deploying all 400 of them to these security zones. They have been categorized into 21 hotspots nationwide, and the teams are currently deployment is ongoing. The teams are going to be kept there permanently. And so we are not having a case where they go into the forest, they clear them, or they go on the water bodies, they clear them, and the miners have an opportunity to go back.
A special hotline has been set up to receive complaints from members of the public on Galamsey activities in their neighborhoods.
So that report was by my colleague Christian Lally. We can now listen to the TUC boss on their tour earlier today.
Stop collectivism. The responsibility to stop what is an obviously crime enterprise. Civil society groups can only highlight the dangers of Galamsey and do general advocacy, but they cannot stop Galamsey. The chiefs can only assist, but our land tenure system has decentralized and the ownership of an extent where centralized control by any single chief is almost impossible. Say it's government fights. All of us will and must help, but the government cannot outsource the fight. In the few weeks, the TUC will outline measures to support the fight against Galamsey. At the core of these measures will be to exert maximum pressure on government and its agencies to act decisively on Galamsey. Comrades, this ends our statement. Decisively and must act now. Galamsey must stop. Enough the meetings, enough the advocacy, enough the talking. We need action now. Action! To stop Galamsey. The structures of TUC will meet after this very important tour and take and make a very decisive decision on the way forward with the government. Thank you very much.
So that was TUC Secretary General Joshua Ansah speaking there, expressing their concerns about the issue of the impact of illegal mining after some fact-finding mission in the central region. Now, joining us via phone is Pakwesi Shandov. He's a spokesperson for NIMOS. Pakwesi, thank you so much for your time. Over 1,500 cases, the Attorney General says, is handling on illegal mining. That shows that a lot of effort has been made with regards to illegal mining. Would you say you are winning based on these numbers?
Absolutely. Now, if you look at the total number of arrests that were effected in the past administration compared to now, it is relatively less. Indeed, if you also look at the total number of prosecutions that took place in the erstwhile administration, it was absolutely nothing to write home about. Basically, out of the total number of arrests that were effected, unfortunately, I'm not able to disclose the number immediately, but out of the total number of arrests that were effected in the erstwhile administration, only 4% of prosecution went through out of the total number, which was even really nothing to write home about. But as of now, like you rightly indicated, there's been over 1,500 arrests so far. And the good news is that all the arrests that have been affected, they are at various levels of prosecution. We will all agree that generally the legal system that we have here and the prosecutorial protocols sometimes can be a bit cumbersome. Indeed, that is why the Attorney General, when we engaged the CSOs last week, said that plans are far advanced to actually roll out a specialized fast-track prosecutorial tribunal so that mining offences will be dealt expeditiously. I am not able to disclose certain concrete details on the prosecutions to you, but the assurance we can give is that before the end of the year, every arrest that has been effected, every person who has been labelled an illegal mining offender will certainly have verdicts passed conclusively in that particular respect. And so there is progress. You can see, for example, that Akonta mining, that particular case, there is a lot of energy and action in it. All other related cases, big or small, are expeditiously being worked on. And so it's only a matter of time that we'll clear the backlog. And then with the establishment of the tribunal, whose conversation is being fervently had at Cabinet, we should have a system where now, if Kofi or Ama is arrested for a mining offense, in a matter of weeks, that person should be behind bars if he or she is found guilty.
Interesting. But Pakwesi, despite these arrests, we still see the turbidity levels in the water still high. You heard TUC also raising concerns over they are threatening nationwide action if this issue is not addressed. It appears your arrest is not enough, don't you think?
Well, so the arrest is only part of the raft of interventions that we have introduced to deal with the menace of illegal mining. And so it is not all encompassing. The fact that we are arresting does not necessarily mean that we are going to have a miraculous turnover overnight. But you see, when it comes to the turbidity levels, in particular, the reality is that it is true. There are certain areas where the numbers are escalating, but there is also record to show that at certain places it is improving. And that only goes to confirm the arguments we've been making so far, that the devastation that deepened over the last 8 years can certainly not be miraculously transformed within the period of time that we have been in government. And so the progress certainly will be steady, it will be slow, but at least we are getting somewhere. So we admit that, yes, it is true, there are certain places that the situation is still worrisome, but are there also places where we've had very remarkable results? Yes. And we are so we're going to continue with that momentum. And like the sector minister has always been saying, the fight against illegal mining is a marathon, it's not a sprint. And so it's only a matter of time that we'll cover all areas and have results that cut across every water body.
It's good that you admit that it will take a while, but you also would admit that the president perhaps rushed during his campaign trails when he said that he would not jail Ghanaians who were involved in illegal mining, especially now that you have arrested over 1,500 Ghanaians who were involved in illegal mining. What do you say?
I think we should work with the current conversation. The current conversation is very simple, that anybody who is an offender of the laws, where the environment is concerned, where mining is concerned, you will simply be dealt with. The conversation about whether or not our current disposition is in contradiction to what had happened in the past, I think, if you ask me, is not a progressive discourse. Right now, let's look at what the government is doing. Indeed, the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, currently, everybody can obviously see that he has that political will to deal with the menace of illegal mining. Why am I even saying that? As we speak, Michael, we have currently the third national chairman of the National Democratic Congress and the party's organizer who have become subjects of interest in an ongoing investigation with respect to illegal mining. Yes, categorically and separately, they've denied their involvement. But for the fact that they are still being interrogated under the authority of the president, it tells you that this is somebody who is going to crack the whip regardless of whose ox is caught. And that momentum is what we lacked in the past 8 years, where the leaders of the day were actually authorizing illegal money because apparently Party, Nyasika, and all of those. Right now, we don't have all of those narratives. The president is committed. Mama Kofi Boa, the sector minister, is equally committed. So I think we should take it up from there and engage and question the results from the dispensation that we are in.
Well, there's absolutely nothing wrong with admitting when you get it wrong, don't you think? But away from that, there are some Chinese nationals that have been involved in all of this. We've seen quite a number of them in the arrests that you've made. What are the updates with them?
Yes, so let me just the update is quite comprehensive. I'm not sure we would have the time to go into all, but let me just fall on or work with the ones that we arrested this week. So this week, for example, in the operations of NIMOS, the Chinese who were arrested, they were immediately transported to the NIMOS headquarters here in Accra. As I speak to you today, Friday, 10th of October, which maybe happens to be my birthday as well, what I can tell you is that they have been they have gone through the necessary protocols of interrogation. Their statements have been taken accordingly, and then from Monday we'll give you a firmer update on the prosecutorial part for them. You see, again, like the Attorney General said, sometimes the difficulty is because of the interlocked nature of our justice delivery system. But for now, there is a special dispensation that the AG has provided, a new roadmap that he has provided, given to the ministry, so that when cases of this nature come, they are expedited. And so it is in that spirit that it is in that part that the Chinese who have recently been arrested are being taken through. So hopefully by Monday we may actually publish concrete data or maybe concrete information on the prosecution so far. It is not only them. I mean, the Chinese are not the only people involved in illegal mining. We have local collaborators as well. In fact, those who were even arrested in the course of the week. I think, is it today or yesterday? Forgive me if I'm not able to mention specifically, because we've been dealing with a lot of information in the last 4 days. I think it is even today, 28 more were arrested. All of them are being filed. All of them are being processed. Next week, we'll give you full updates on the various levels of the prosecutions.
All right. Thank you so much, Pakwesi Shandoff. And a happy birthday to you anyway. Where's the party happening today?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So that's Pakwesi Shandoff. He is the spokesperson for NIMOS, bringing us some updates on some of the efforts that the committee is making to address the issue of illegal mining. Now, away from that, the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, NPP, Bernard Entry Boesiako, popularly known as Chairman Wuntumi, has been released from police custody after spending 3 nights in detention. His release follows a successful fulfillment of bail conditions in 2 separate illegal mining Galamsey cases currently before the High Court in Accra. The embattled NPP chairman is now facing multiple mining-related cases, including allegations of unlawfully undertaking mining operations and facilitating environmental destruction in the Tano Nimre Forest Reserve. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Chairman Wuntumi had earlier failed to meet the bail requirements imposed on 7 October 2025 by the Criminal Division of the High Court. On 7 October 2025, the Criminal Division of the Accra High Court, presided over by Her Ladyship by Justice Mary Mami Ikia Yanzu, granted Chairman Wuntumi bail in the sum of 15 million cedis. Shortly after being granted the 15 million Ghana cedi bail, Chairman Wuntumi was rearrested and rearraigned before another high court on fresh charges. He and 4 others have been charged with 7 counts of illegal mining-related offences. Chairman Wuntumi pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of mining without a license, abetting the unauthorized felling of trees and abetting the unauthorized erection of buildings in a forest reserve. He was granted a bail of 10 million cedis with 2 sureties, while the case was adjourned to 4 November 2025. As part of the bail terms, the court ordered that he be placed on a stop list at all entry and exit points of the country, pending further directives. We'll bring you updates on that particular story as it develops in our subsequent bulletins. Now, Asin Central MP Kennedy Ejapong has picked the top spot on the ballot for the New Patriotic Party's upcoming presidential primaries, followed by Brian Champon in second place. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia secured the 3rd position, with former Education Minister Dr. Yao Osei Duchum drawing the 4th slot. Former General Secretary Kwabena Ejay Ejapong took the 5th and final position in the ballot. The balloting exercise, supervised by the party's elections committee, officially concludes preparations for the flag bearer contest ahead of the NPP's National Congress. The various campaign teams have since shared their own interpretations and the significance they attach to the position. Akwesi Kwarteng speaks for Kennedy Ejapong.
There was just 5 candidates. It was an open process, and the candidates had representatives. They had the opportunity to select or pick the number. There was from 2 places. The most important was the final in terms of even visibility on the ballot. We feel that give us an advantage. From the one we have always maintained that the campaign is right. And so, I mean, for it to be one, we believe there's even more cases.
But next step of your campaign?
We are going to sell the number. We are going to campaign. We are going to campaign. We believe that sovereignty resides in over 200,000 delegates. We are going to tell them the message, the currency of the party, and the needs that are always maintained, and Ken has always maintained, that even in the point of revival, we need a new face. And that face, even for the balloting, clearly shows that Ken now wants to be.
The new face, Kennedy Ejapong, what is he bringing on board?
Kennedy is bringing, I give you 3 things. 1 is jobs, 2 is jobs, 3 is jobs. That's the most important.
You told me earlier that the number on the ballot really doesn't matter, but here you are saying that number one.
There has not been any contradiction. Initially, I told you that we were not so much expectant. We are also not fixated with any number. I'm saying that even after the balloting, number one gives us another advantage in terms of market, in terms of PR, in terms of visibility on the ballot. And those ones are things that I'm sure we have the right to state them clearly. I'm sure you even agree with it.
But he also mentioned a while ago that your candidate in the 2024 elections was at number one and he still lost. So it could really be a disadvantage to you as well, don't you think?
These are two separate elections, two different dynamics. But you see, the reverse is that from 1 to 3 also people will rather be lost. This time we would rather move from our original position. This time we are number one. That should send a strong signal.
So that was Akwesi Kwarteng speaking on behalf of NPP flag bearer hopeful Kennedy Agyapong, giving some connotations to his number one position on the ballot ahead of their primaries. Now, Kwame Ogbodu, a member of the Brian Champon campaign team, however, insists that the position on the ballot does not really matter. Take a listen.
There's only people who believe in superstition that will go on. We are number one, so we are winning. We've done this business before. I'm not new to this process. I've gone through series of elections. As a matter of fact, the last time, 2023, I was a campaign manager for Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, and we picked number one. But we were not number one at the end of the day. So number game doesn't mean it's a process that you have to go through, and people should not be complacent. They should go back and work and give the message and let the people listen so that they can be elected.
So here, Kwame Ogbodu there from the Brian Champon campaign, and he says that the number on the ballot box, ballot paper, plays no role. At the end of the day, the issues are on the ground, and you have to get on the ground and get the people to vote for you. But then the Bawumia campaign team has expressed a similar view, saying the order of names means little in a contest based on merit and performance.
Positions don't matter. So if people want to vote for you, wherever you are, they will look for you. For me, for marketing purposes, the first one and the last one, because of a CRO and a SRO. But otherwise, I told you that any position that you are, people who want to vote for you will look for you.
You're also emphatic that will make it easier if you're down or top.
Why not? Why not? Of course, SRO or CRO, but really, it doesn't matter. People will look for you wherever you are, if they want to vote for you. Yeah.
You're confident that your candidate...
The last time people were at number one.
Who were those people?
Who was at number one in 2023? You should know.
You tell me.
You should know. Do your research. And what happened to them? So really.
So it appears number 2 and number 3 on the ballot paper seem to agree that they are just numbers and do not necessarily reflect the actual results at the end of the day. But let's listen to Fosu Asamoah, a campaign manager for Kwabena Agyapong, what he also thinks about the 5th and final slot that they picked on the ballot paper.
Oh, certainly no. You know, these numbers are only to identify the position of your preferred candidate, except that in the past and in our political history, all the numbers come with their own slogan. Was it in when President Kufuor was coming to power? The number that they pick happened to be the last on the ballot box, so we use the slogan Asieho, Asieho. So at the time of coming to power, our slogan for the party was Asieho. In this circumstance, what has transpired, we picked number 5, and for that matter, will be at the bottom of the ballot paper. So certainly, we're also going to perhaps go by Asieho, Asieho. It doesn't really mean anything, but it's a way of selling the candidate in a political balance in this country.
So there you have it there from Owusu Asamoah. He's the campaign manager for Kwabena Agyapong, also expressing his indifference about the position that his candidates picked on the ballot paper. But let's speak to political scientist and analyst, Professor Smart Sapon, to pick his thoughts. Prof, where do you sit with this? Does the position candidates pick on the ballot paper really reflect how the elections turn out?
Well, a very good evening to your good self, Michael, and to our cherished listeners. I think I agree with the sentiments that the representatives of the aspirants have said. Largely, as we know, even if position had any effect, it was at the initial stage of our Fourth Republic, where we were experimenting democratic elections. And illiteracy was high and all those things, and people struggled to locate the position of their preferred candidates. Now, we've been through elections as a republic, Fourth Republic, on 9 different occasions. And year on year, we've realized the insignificance of the position of aspirants on the ballot paper. Wherever you are, if people really want to vote for you, they are able to locate you and vote for you. Sometimes when the ballot paper becomes too tall and long with so many political parties, we have increased numbers of rejected ballots. But in their case, only 5 people. Check the Electoral College, delegates. Strictly speaking, position wouldn't matter much.
Prof, but don't you think there's also the psychological part of it? You heard one of the spokesperson for the aspirants say that in the past we had the Esro Asieho. Don't you think all of that resonates with delegates and maybe can play a subconscious role in influencing who they actually vote for at the end of the day?
Yes, for the marketing purpose, yes. But if I am going to vote for maybe number 2 or number 3, when you are doing your marketing Esro Asieho and you don't actually convince me as to how or why I should vote for your candidate, and you just keep ranting Asieho, Esroho, and the person at number 2, number 3 have communicated their visions and aspirations to me well. Now the choice is for me to look for where they are and vote for them, and not just to go for the Esroho or the Asieho. In fact, people have been at Esroho and they've won and lost before. People have been at very, very difficult positions, number 7, 8, and they've still won. So they should focus, in my view, on reaching out to the delegates, convincing them, sharing their visions and aspirations to them, and making sure that they are at the ballot to come and vote. It is only then that their position will count. And even in the case of delegates, so to speak, I'm not sure positions would matter much. Whoever is, if a delegate, carefully selected leader of their party at the various branches, wants to locate one preferred candidate and vote for the person, I'm not sure it is going to be difficult. So advice to them is to, reduce the sensations around the numbers and the interpretations they are assigning. Go to the people, share with them your visions and aspirations, and help them to be at the poll to vote. Then your position, locating where your aspirant is, will not be a problem.
Okay. But Prof, you've spoken about the importance of the candidates actually going to the grounds and engaging the delegates to get them to vote for them. But realistically, looking at how things have gone, especially for the NPP, it's just about a few months after a major defeat. Next year, early next year, their aspirants are the presidential candidates, for want of a better word, are going to the polls again. Do you think this 1 year period is enough for them to have regrouped and to sell themselves enough for the delegates?
Yes, for me it is enough a time. Like I said earlier, we have been through this 9 different times. In the early 1992, they didn't participate much, but you can still say MPP lost. They learned their lessons, participated in 1996, lost. In 2000, they won. 2004, they won. So, in summary, what I'm saying is that they've experienced defeats and wins before. You can say same for the NDC. So, for these 2 major political parties, a recent defeat will not be the first time they are experiencing it. And I'm sure if you go through one thing 2 or 3 times, you build adaptation or, say, immunity of a kind for it. So for me, I would have been extremely surprised if they stayed on the defeat for quite a long time. Why? Is it defeat you've not seen before? Or the government, the intensity of the defeat, or what? So they've seen defeat over and over again. They've seen victories over and over again. And I think one of the best decisions the National Council have taken in the life of the NPP is to have put this thing somehow behind them early, try to regroup by electing a leader or a flag bearer, so that the rebuilding and the regrouping can be done around the leader who will be elected in January. I think it's one of the best decisions they've taken.
Interesting. But, Prof, before you leave us, now, we've heard of the Council of Elders monitoring committee and the likes trying to whip everybody in line with regards to the flag bearers. I don't know, what do you make of this this particular move by them? And really, if you were to speak to the MPP right now, what would you say they should be mindful of ahead of the January 31 primaries?
I'm going with the assumption that it's better late than never. Else, I would have thought that the elders, wherever they were, have quite delayed in intervening. But, I mean, like I said, it's better late than never. Let's see, going forward, how their presence and monitoring of the various campaigns by the aspirants would calm down the situations. And to the aspirants, it is quite unpopular to try to destroy a colleague to gain favor. You would have done that in an external election like a political party versus another political party, but in an internal election like this, they should stick to the issues and try to sell their ideas and visions for the Republic as well as their party. For me, if you are given 30 minutes to talk to delegates, anybody that spends a lot of time destroying the other is not a politician. They should stick to the issues. These are delegates. All the things you are saying, they might even know better than you. So just stick to the issues. I'm sure they are going to pull the brakes on the, the insinuations, the insults, and all those things. And the assignees or agents of the aspirants, other than the aspirants themselves, who speak and do all those things, cause the distraction and the noise in the system, must also be monitored by these Council of Elders who are on that journey. They don't have to only focus on the aspirants. They should as well monitor and tame those assignees of the aspirants who we hear talking and insulting each other, have set up their own radio station, like social media or YouTube station and all those things. They should expand their work.
All right.
To all those people.
Thank you so much, Prof. You hold on for us. We just understood that the NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman, who was just released on bail, has been throwing his weight behind one of the candidates. Let's listen to that.
Dr. Alajima Baumia is number 3. All the delegates, we are pleading with you for our future president. Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia is number 3.
Number 3.
And the 3 is the lucky number. Thank you.
Thank you.
So you heard the Chairman Wuntimi, Ashanti Regional Minister of the NPP, who was just granted bail after being released from jail for some issues with regards to illegal mining, and he's openly thrown his support behind Dr. Mahamudu Baumia. Prof, what do you make of this? Interesting times, huh?
Right. So 2 things. I would have wished, it's my position consistently, that if you are a party leader to some extent, you are supposed to remain neutral throughout the exercise. But Chairman to me, has consistently taken a position, and I'm not sure it's the first time we are hearing him declare for Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. So it's kind of no news. Yes, he is the current regional chairman, but I think openly in the past, and even when the process commenced, he has chosen Dr. Mahmoud Baumia and has consistently and openly maintained that position. So not much of a news. We see some other important personalities, MPs and co, also distributed behind the aspirants, maybe not evenly, but almost every aspirant has one influential person or MP or persons who are supposed to be neutral following them. So maybe it's internal. Once they've opened themselves to it, quite dilated. But let's see its degeneration being controlled.
Yeah. All right, Prof. Thank you so much for your time. That was Professor Smart Sapon. He's a political analyst, and we also have joining us in studio, my colleague Martin Asiedu Date. Martin, in your over a decade of coverage